You got to walk like a champion, talk like a champion. Okay, we are back in this thing for another video. I also have my citrine here in the video. Well, not in the video, but it's charging up in the sunlight. I sit right in front of my window and record my videos. So, this is another video. I should stop rambling. Stop rambling. Um, on this one, we're going to be talking about the sort of my own personal insecurities as far as defining as a spiritual person. And some of the reasons that I held off on making or setting up this channel and just speaking on my spirituality in general is I felt a lot of pressure. Like when I would see other people, and some of my friends too, like the way, really, girl? You scared? Oh my god. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna take my dog out because she just keeps scaring the shit out of me. Like, just scratch my damn dog. Girl, shit. You thought you was motherfucking attacking me? Okay. Okay. We're back. Damn, I don't even know what I was talking about. I was saying, oh yeah, I would see some of the ways that like my friend would do certain things. Like, they would just have like a boatload of crystals and they would do rituals and just or like I felt like with me like I'll you there's certain visual sort of I guess stereotypes for what a spiritual person should look like, how they should talk, certain words that they should use. Like y'all see me on here, like I be cussing, I be just fuck, bitch, goddamn, fuck, hoe, shit, nigga, all of this shit. I cuss, bro. Like, and the typical idea that people have when someone is spiritual is that they walking around with like, head wraps. They wear their natural hair. I wear my natural hair, but like they wear their natural hair and they dressed in like long ass, cloaks and shit and they wear natural woven fabrics and their house is full of incense and all that this and I was like I mean it that is some people, but that was never me. So I always struggled with defining myself as a spiritual person for that reason. I don't feel like I look like that particular person, you know, um, which is fine. I want to make that clear. It's fine to not be the standard definition of a spiritual person. It's actually necessary for the development of society. It really is. Um, Another thing was, like I told you guys, I do a lot of my work just based on intuition and, receiving spiritual upgrades. So, because of that, a lot of my friends, well, not, why do I say, like, I don't have that many spiritual friends, but a lot of people will research a lot of information and like they'll know a lot of things and they'll have the definitions for everything. I was never that person. Put these back on. I was never that person because my first concern when I started out was always like I didn't want to have an influence from anyone or anything else. I was afraid that if I would read certain things, like I was talking about in my previous video, I don't want to read something at the wrong time and then my ego begins to make decisions for me. Oh my God. Excuse me. Then my ego makes decisions for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I keep bringing it up, the twin flame thing, bro. A lot of people might read that and then start thinking that this person is their twin flame, and it's not their twin flame, and they end up in a horrible ass relationship, getting abused, and they don't want, and then they don't leave because their heart is telling them that this is the person that they're supposed to be with, and this is just a part of the process, and like, that's not true. That is your ego that is pushing you and propelling you into the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? So I, of course, I appreciate everybody who may necessarily have, definitions and everything, um, for certain parts of the spiritual journey, but I never really looked into it. I always look into it after I have my experiences. And then I get understanding afterwards, or things naturally come to me. I don't have to search for them. That's how I wound up doing my shadow work. I didn't know what the hell. I didn't, dude. I didn't know what a twin flame was, bro, until recently. I didn't fucking know. I didn't know what shadow work was until I had already fucking done it. You know what I'm saying? So I always had this insecurity in my mind, like, where I felt really, I guess, ignorant, in a spiritual sense, because I didn't have the definitions and the words, and I didn't necessarily know what things were. I mean, not to say that I wasn't doing them or I wasn't experiencing them. I just didn't have this like this that spiritual dictionary that was locked into my that was jammed into my brain like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I mean, that's was something that I deliberately decided to do. I remember, hold on, let me look this up. Because I read about something a few months ago. Yeah, I read about the 144,000 a few months ago. And if you don't know what that is, I mean, you can look it up if you want. I'm not going to really talk about that right now, maybe in another video. But I looked up the 144,000 a few months ago. I didn't look it up. It came to me. Um, and what else was it? It was, yeah, the Kunda. I'm probably gonna say this wrong. Like I said, the Kundalini awakening. So I did some research on those two subjects, the 144,000 and the Kundalini energy. So when I read about those at that time, I remember thinking like, what the fuck is this shit talking about? I was like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is talking about. I don't understand this. I was just very fucking confused. I was like, what the fuck? And I remember being like, I remember feeling like, yo, this has something to do with me, um, because the most prevalent angel numbers that I have are 1140 and um, anything to do with 1, 0, and 4. That's pretty much the angel numbers that have been appearing for like a year in my life. So I just knew. I was like, this has something to do with me. But when I read about it at that time, with the understanding and the awareness and the education that I had at that time, that shit didn't make no sense to me, man. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this shit's talking about. I don't know what this is. This doesn't make sense. I was like, what you talking about? These people supposed to save the fucking world? What you talking about? Are we fucking these are superheroes? That's what I was thinking. I was like, what are the powers that these people have? What are you talking about? And at that time too, I kept receiving messages from my spirit guides like about my divine purpose, and I remember still thinking like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? I don't understand none of this. I was like, what is my divine purpose? Can you just tell me? Because I sure as hell don't know, you know. But um, that's why I say like, and not like I said, I don't know about it. I can't really speak on anybody else's spiritual journey. I'm just saying from mine, that was when I knew like for sure that I don't really need to be reading about this stuff until it's the right time. And when it's the right time, I'll be able to understand it. I understand that shit now. Like, I get it. I understand all of that information fully now. That a few months ago, that shit was like, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, my nigga? But I get it now. I understand it. Um, and it's like to just trying to kind of make it simple. Especially if you're someone who's trying to get into your spirituality and you find yourself reading stuff and you find yourself reading articles and you're trying to educate yourself and you reading some shit and it just does not make sense to you and you taking the information in and you reading it and you like, I know what the words mean. I mean, or not what the words, like I know, like I have the content but I don't have the understanding. There you go. And that was something that I wanted to prevent for myself. Like I didn't want to just take in content and not have any understanding of what the hell I just read or what was told to me because I wanna be like a super intelligent spiritual person and I wanna be like, yeah, I got the answers to shit. I didn't want it. I didn't fuck that. I didn't understand it. I was on some real shit. I don't know what you're talking about, and I say that to God all the time. Like I don't know I don't understand this. I said I don't understand it. If you can, like, I ask for understanding, and it may come at that time. It may come the next day. It may take a while. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that the seeds are going to be planted in your head. That doesn't mean that they have blossomed yet. Like give it some time. You know what I'm saying? But when you receive the understanding, you'll think back to that situation and be like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Then that's the epiphany. Um, it's like, I was thinking about this earlier. If you like math, if somebody just told you, and this was the only thing that you knew about math, you didn't know nothing. If the only thing that you knew about math was 1 + 1 = 2, you didn't know why 1 + 1 = 2, and somebody just told you 1 + 1 = 2, and you see that shit on the test, and you're like, damn, I know that answer. It's motherfucking 2. 1 + 1 = 2. I know that. But if you don't know why, if you don't know that one is a representation of an actual like physical object and combining with another physical object to make a new, you know what I'm saying? Then you're just looking at the one as a symbol. This symbol plus this symbol equals this symbol. But you don't understand what that is. That doesn't. But you do know the answer. It does not mean that you understand it. And I hope that doesn't sound stupid or confusing, but like that's what it's like for me, and it has always been that way. Like me, when I read stuff that I'm not ready to take in spiritually, that's oh, it's the birds. Like what is that? Why do birds sound like they in my ear? Okay, um, but like if I read something and it's cool to take in content, but if I don't understand it, then I'm wasting my time. There's something else on my journey that I need to be focusing on at that particular moment, And there are certain things that come to you. Yeah, there's certain things that come to you to plant a seed in your brain, and you just lock it in there for later. If you don't understand it, lock it in there for later. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to, you know, try to force this information down your throat as if it's gonna make you a better spiritual person. It's not. Everybody's on their own time. Everybody's on their own journey. Um, and there's a vast amount of information. So there's not like a streamlined process or uh, it's not like school. You know what I'm saying? There isn't a particular subject material for that you understand at a particular. We understand shit at different times. Like one person could understand this particular information and not understand something that you already know, and you don't understand what they understand. That's it's not a straight line of understanding. Everybody's gonna learn shit at different times when it's necessary for the life that they are living and for them to educate the people around them. So for myself, I had to make myself aware of that so that I wouldn't feel so insecure and that about saying that I was a spiritual person, because I am. And that's the same thing for you if you're watching this. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to be this perfect spiritual person when that's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? If you find yourself like I do, I cuss, man. I cuss and I dress how I want, and people may not see that as being a spiritual person, but it's necessary. If everybody was walking around in like robes and head wraps, to a certain extent, for the average person, that's not very approachable. Like there's an intimidation in that. If I'm walking up to you like I'm your brother, you know what I'm saying? I almost exist. Well, yeah. Well, hold on. We almost exist in the same world. Perception is reality, so that's something else. But we pretty much exist in the same world. You don't feel like I'm coming from some other fucking place and I ain't gonna understand the shit that you be going through, or I'm gonna think that I'm better than you. It's like, no, we the same fucking person. We are all one person. You know what I'm saying? So it's necessary to have all representations of a spiritual person. You can't just have one. You can't have one image that represents who is spiritual. Because the only reason I even started this channel is because of Spiritual Soul. If you watch him, because that was the first time that I felt like, yo, this nigga is on like my type of shit. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody else before that, they had a different energy that I didn't really connect with. And I don't, I'm not gonna name any specific celebrities or rappers and shit, but there's certain rappers that you have to respect them and say that they are spiritual beings. Whether you like their past or their history or the way that they maneuver in their day to day life or what they talk about in their music or shit like that, you have to respect that they are spiritual beings. And singers too. Like, oh my, and I'm gonna be doing a video on that, like hidden messages in songs. People think that every song that's about like a relationship and love is about love. It's not. These people are trying to help you. They are putting they to a certain extent they can't put everything at risk. You know what I'm saying? You have to be the one to interpret and stop taking everything as just face value. That is your response. That is our responsibility. Um, and things like selling sex. People see something wrong with that. I don't. Certain shit is necessary, and it's not even that's not even a problem anyway. We're gonna be real. The human body is not something that constantly needs to be like covered up and hidden, but that's a different conversation. Um, but the thing is, there are spiritual people who are placed here to represent the or to what am I looking for? To perpetuate a specific image of this world. Because if those people didn't exist, nobody would fucking get it. People would not start waking up if every fucking, you know what I'm saying? Because people are already insecure and uncomfortable and feel judged as it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so much easier for them to have someone on or who they perceive to be on their level that can teach them and coach them and help them and that they can be inspired by. You think niggas out the hood is about to just walk up, and I've seen monks in real life. You think them niggas about to walk up to some monks and be like, they wouldn't even know how to start the conversation, bro. Real shit. And that's why the whole the you shouldn't. I don't want people. I want people to feel more comfortable in all types of spirituality because it's necessary. And I'm not a Christian, but when you read about Jesus in the Bible, he was he was going into the places where nobody else wanted to go. He was with the people who were shunned and pushed away and outcasted by other people who were spiritual. So you have to, I want to make this all inclusive because I'm not trying to command nobody to do nothing. We gotta like be that representation in the world. We are just another face. We are another entity. We are another version of the spiritual being. Every single one of every single it's all valid. As long as your intent and your mission is what out of love for humanity, for the universe, for everything, then you are rightful to say that you are a spiritual person, and you are rightful to do that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how you dress. It doesn't matter the slang that you use. It doesn't matter the music that you listen to. It doesn't matter how you know what I'm saying. None of that shit matters. It's your intent. It's your focus. It's when you go to bed at night. Are you talking to God? Are you meditating? Are you praying? Are you connecting with source energy? Are you doing these things? So that's that for this video. Um, like I said, I always say, leave comments, guys, about your own experiences with this stuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this one, and you guys have a great day. I don't know why I just got all like really, really relaxed, like just real zenned out just now. But yeah, you guys have a great day. I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know how many videos I have coming today, but y'all know I'll be punching through these hoes. Boo, boo. So you guys have a cool day. Peace out. I love you guys so. Oh my God. I swear right now, I want you guys to understand. Right now, there is nobody on this channel. Okay. Nobody is watching these videos. I don't have any subscribers. So when I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to the people. You guys are in my future right now. You know what I'm saying? So you being on this video, you are saving my life. Like you are blessing me. And even if you feel like I'm doing something for you, I promise you, you are doing more for me, man. Like I'm thinking about you right now. I don't know if you're gonna be here a month from now, a year from now, a week from now, but you are the person that's on my mind right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel your energy and I feel your love, and I can't even explain that to you guys. But it really does. It means so much to me because I just feel connected with people that ain't even here yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's like that's a blessing, man. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video.